Hi, everybody. How we doing? Happy Monday. It's 3:40 p.m., August 1st, 2022. It is Bitcoin Independence Day. If you don't know what that means, we're going to talk about it in a little bit. So just hang on. We will get there. It's a fun commemorative date. The price of Bitcoin today, right now, is $23,060, down from where it had been. The price of Ethereum is $1,624. And Giddy is at 4 cents, 4.054. Everything's down ever so slightly. Bitcoin down 2.8%, Ethereum down 5.2%, and Giddy down a little over 0.5%. Let's dive in to our favorite game of let the computer draw an image. We're using pixels.ai. We're going to create a realistic image, and we're going to use the prompt, Bitcoin Independence Day. Sure, why not? Create image. Let's see what it comes up with. We already talked about the price, $23,070 right now. Bitcoin is up 16% in July. We are now at August 1st. This is the biggest gain since last October. So it's been a while. We've been in a steady, ugly downward trend with lots of catastrophes along the way, but maybe we're at the bottom now. Feels like now is probably a good time to buy. It's at 23,000. We've certainly seen it lower. It certainly could go lower, but if you're looking for an opportunity to get in, this is not a bad spot. I need to take my own advice and deploy the capital that I have set aside. Many are worrying whether to buy BTC at 21,000 or 22,000 or 23,000. Meanwhile, failing to realize that anything below 35,000 is a bargain over the long run. This is absolutely true. It's from Rect Capital. We've been citing this individual a lot in our live streams lately. Rect has some good technical analysis in as much as you value technical analysis. Now, I like Rect's technical analysis. This person, T analyst Aurelian Ohayon, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, this just looks like voodoo to me. This is a kind of chart that I've never seen before, but that's what you're trying to do in technical analysis. You're just trying to find patterns, really. And any kind of pattern can have a convincing aura about it. This person is calling this the bottom and saying we are now at the beginning of cycle 5 where it will rise up to, who knows what that number is. Let's see. 280,000 is what they are looking at. So give or take 300K. That would be cool. I'd be down for that. It will theoretically play out over the next, couple years. They have 2025 down here as the point where it reaches the top. So we are not close to the top. They are predicting that we're at the bottom. Whether you buy that technical analysis or not, most technical analysis, that one and many others, seem to agree that we are probably near the bottom. Now is probably a good time to deploy your capital. Happy Bitcoin Independence Day, everybody. This is when we commemorate when 5 years ago, on this date in 2017, the user-activated soft fork initiated a grassroots community effort organized how and if Bitcoin could be governed was in question. The most powerful corporations and over 80% of miners wanted Bitcoin to change their way. The community disagreed. So if you're not familiar with this, it is taking over Bitcoin Magazine. This article is about Bitcoin Independence Day. So are these three about Bitcoin Independence Day. It's all about Bitcoin Independence Day today. This is when there was the block size war. The block size war was a disagreement on how to scale the network. Let me read from you the Wikipedia entry on Bitcoin Cash. In 2017, there were two factions of Bitcoin supporters, those that supported large blocks and those who preferred small blocks. The Bitcoin Cash faction favors the use of it as currency, as a medium of exchange for commerce, while the Bitcoin supported faction view Bitcoin's primary use as that of a store of value. Bitcoin Cash is, then it continues to talk about Bitcoin Cash, which I sure don't need to talk about because Bitcoin Cash has never rivaled Bitcoin in any meaningful way. This was a minority fork, has way fewer supporters, way less capital. It still has a market value because there is a core of diehard supporters, but the future of Bitcoin Cash, I mean, I don't hold any. I won't hold any. Roger Ver was a huge supporter of Bitcoin Cash and still is. Roger Ver is now purportedly bankrupt because he took some long bets and got wiped out. If Roger Ver had just held on to his Bitcoin and done nothing else, his BTC, not his Bitcoin Cash, BCH, If he just held on to his BTC, he would be one of the wealthiest individuals on the planet by a wide margin right now. He's not. He's bankrupt. Sorry, Roger. Also from Bitcoin Magazine, Bitcoin education is a way out of globalist oppression for Ethiopia. I only bring up this article because I think this headline is interesting, because you could replace Ethiopia with the world. Bitcoin education is a way out of globalist oppression for the world, for everybody. They focus on Ethiopia here. Great, awesome. But that headline in particular, Bitcoin education is the way out for everyone, everywhere. United States, EU, China, Russia, Japan, Africa, South America, everywhere. Not Bitcoin is the way out, because Bitcoin is great. I love Bitcoin. Really, I do. But unless people understand it, unless they are persuaded to its long-term value, to its soundness as money, that it is better money than the other monies they've been presented with, then adoption will be slowed. In as much as people cannot or will not educate themselves, then adoption will suffer. And those people will suffer. So, I repeat, Bitcoin education is a way out of globalist oppression for everybody, the entire world. When BTC becomes a 1% allocation of global investment assets and it's worth over $350,000, will you regret not buying any around 20K? This from James Levish, whom we have talked about before. I believe James is... No, I was going to say that he was the green tech investor, but that is somebody else. You know what? I'm just going to follow you, James. I'm following right now. Here we go. Boom. He's right about this. Right now, Bitcoin as a portion of institutional investment is vanishingly low. Not because these institutions are disinterested. Maybe there's a portion of that going on. Certainly there is. But they are not legally permitted to invest in Bitcoin. Not in any way that they could do it and still be within the bounds of the law. This is why groups like Grayscale are trying to get the SEC to do a spot Bitcoin ETF, an exchange-traded fund, because then you could buy and sell Bitcoin backed by Bitcoin in custody, so actual Bitcoin. You buy the ETF, it would be backed by actual Bitcoin in custody by somebody like Grayscale or whoever else gets approval first, and you would have one-to-one exposure to Bitcoin, theoretically. The SEC has rejected this over and over and over, and we've seen it approved in other places, in Europe and I believe in Asia, but we don't have one in the United States. And this is where so many institutions are with lots of money that would be interested in investing here, but they can't. There is no legal framework, there is no legal path for them to deploy that capital in a way that gets it into Bitcoin, not directly, not one-to-one. When that does happen, a 1% allocation of those funds is incredibly conservative. And even a very conservative, very risk-averse fund manager would be willing to put in 1%. It's 1%. It would be irresponsible of them not to put in a small portion as a hedge against systemic risk, because this is the only asset that has its own network, its own rails, that can independently operate and exist outside of everything else. So, when Bitcoin becomes a 1% allocation of global investment assets and is worth over $350,000, will you regret not buying any around $20,000? If you don't, you probably will. From Watcher Guru, someone transferred $80,030,000 in Bitcoin and paid a fee of $4.47. That's a transaction fee of 0.0000559%. No government, bank, or third party had to verify the transaction, nor could they have stopped it if they wanted to. This is and always has been the core idea behind Bitcoin. It's why it's gained popularity over the past decade. It's why it's a powerful concept. Permissionless money, money that can't be taken, money that can't be controlled, that can't be middlemanned. You can do it with $80 million. You can do it with billions of dollars. You can do it, thanks to the Lightning Network, with fractions and fractions of a penny. Going back to this being Bitcoin Independence Day, when the block size wars were going on, controversy. When the block size war were going on in 2015 to 2017 about how to scale the network, the fees had gotten out of control. It was very difficult to do a Bitcoin transaction because the fees were so high. And I distinctly remember having a wallet with some Bitcoin in there, not a totally insignificant amount. It was like $20, $30. I couldn't do a transaction because I didn't have enough Bitcoin in there to pay for the transaction. Lightning didn't exist. This was layer one on the chain. I just couldn't move that money until the transaction fees came down or the value went way, way up. I had to wait. I had to sit on it. And I eventually did liquidate that wallet for everything that I could. But I couldn't use it. I went to a conference and wanted to use it. I wanted to buy a shirt paying in Bitcoin. Couldn't do it while I was there, at least not from that wallet. So Bitcoin delivering on its promise of being able to transfer any amount of value, large or small, now, thanks to the Lightning Network. This is what it was originally meant to do. This is what it is doing now incredibly well, and it's more important now than it ever has been. Bitcoin was the fastest technology in human history to reach 100 million users. Probably nothing. This from Blue Collar BTC. Have you ever seen these graphs that chart technological adoption? Technology adoption that look at the time it takes for certain technologies to be adopted, whether that's conventional telephone or TV or Facebook. Let's look at this one from Harvard Business Review. The pace of technology adoption is speeding up. If you look at this, oh gosh, go away, ad. If you look at this chart, I will zoom in. We have primitive seeming things like regular landline telephone, cars, electricity, radio on the left. But then you come up here to more modern inventions like cell phones and the internet, and the steep rise that they see is more steep than it historically has been. Over time, newer technologies get adopted with greater speed. Bitcoin has seen a faster adoption than any other technology in human history. 100 million users, faster than anything else ever has. Probably nothing, tongue firmly in cheek. It probably is something. If you hadn't heard, Peter McCormick, the podcaster, the host of What Bitcoin Did, won his case, basically, against Dr. Craig Wright, who purported to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Peter, along with virtually everybody in the Bitcoin world, openly mocked Craig Wright, as they should, because he's a pathological liar who is not Satoshi Nakamoto. The ruling says that Peter McCormick does have to pay £1, one Great Britain pound. Kobe, jokester that he is, has said, I have decided to start raising money to support Peter in paying his hefty damages in the Craig S. Wright trial. Every little helps. Every little bit helps. We're trying to raise £1. Please help if you're able to support. Thank you. And he created a GoFundMe. And then later tweeted that GoFundMe actually wouldn't even let him do an amount that small. This is the actual ruling. He has to pay £1 per the ruling of the judge. Oh, I had another tweet on that. Where did it go? Well, it appears to be gone now. Womp womp, moving on. Over the past 2 weeks, Bitcoiners have stacked over $250,000 worth of Bitcoin with one another in the Stack chain. It's an incredible community movement. Per our previous stream on this subject, Stack chain is people buying Bitcoin in an amount $1 over what the previous guy did and then posting a screenshot. So you get growth like this. This is a logarithmic scale of people buying Bitcoin, plebs buying Bitcoin. It's a meme to drive adoption, to drive people to buy more, and boy, oh boy, has it driven people to buy. In case you wanted to be reminded that The Economist and most institutions like it are not your friend, here's a fun headline. The silver linings of a recession, lower inflation and greener energy are worth the price of a short downturn. Short, right. Short like the 1930s, short like a lost decade. The Economist, as though the people in The Economist, the writers at The Economist, are really going to suffer. And you know what? People are not taking this crap as much anymore. We've got disaffected, unhappy people all over the globe. This is in the Netherlands. These are the Dutch people who are being pushed around by the police, and the people are pushing back. You know, I don't think things are ever going to be the same. 2020 changed the world, and I think we are seeing an acceleration of social order decay around the world, which is why I think Balaji Srinivasan's book, The Network State, is not only interesting, but important, because we need a path forward, and vanishingly few people have actually articulated what that could look like. And continuing to lean back on the nation state as an idea for what can sustain us moving forward is just to be willfully blind. Clearly, nation states are failing the world over. China is in a sovereign debt crisis. Russia is in no place. They've expended their entire army trying to take over a country that they thought they would take over in a few weeks, and they have proven that they cannot. The United States is not in a firm, strong spot. We lost Afghanistan to the Taliban. Our president is 79 years old and visibly senile. Our money is inflating everywhere. The nation state is a failing idea, and we need something better. All right, friends, that's what I have today. I'm headed out on vacation, so my next stream that you see me from will be from a different location. I will be doing the stream, however, assuming that I have internet, which I presume I will. Let me know down in the comments what you would like to talk about in the future, and I'll continue to work on scripts so we can do scripted content. Thank you. We'll talk again soon. Oh, we should look at our AI image. Let's see. User creations. Come on, show them to me. I'll tell you what, Crayon was cool and I liked it, but I also liked that it was just easier than this. Pixels.ai is not as easy. Here's our creation for Bitcoin Independence Day. Good grief, just load. Oh, fine, I will zoom in. Yeah, that seems about right for the words that we used. All right, team. I really am checking out. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.